que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros en tu reino para hacer tu voluntad. Toma tu vista, Dios mío, a esta infeliz criatura, no me dé la sepultura entre las olas del mar. Dame la fuerza y valor para salvar el abismo.
Honor and respects. This is Sancista Brujo Luis. So I'm doing a video today because I've gotten a lot of emails, messages, and questions. People curious about el Cuadro Espiritual. What is a Cuadro Espiritual? And I have talked about el Cuadro Espiritual in other videos, and I'm going to leave links down below. But I want to go deeper into what is a Cuadro Espiritual. First of all, let's translate the word Cuadro Espiritual. Cuadro in Spanish would be, in English, would be frame, okay? Espiritual is spiritual. So a cuadro espiritual is a spiritual frame. We all have a cuadro espiritual. It doesn't matter what religion you are from, what faith you are from. God, the cause of all causes, has blessed every human being with a cuadro espiritual. Whether you are spiritual, religious, or atheist, we all have a cuadro espiritual. So I've been doing a series here and there of videos talking about spirits and ancestors and all that, and I'm just trying to go deeper into it as we go along, and I'm going to leave a link down below of the videos that I've done so far. But today is just to break down what exactly is a cuadro espiritual, because a lot of people get confused and don't understand the concept of un cuadro espiritual. So I'm going to talk about that today on the show. So I have some visuals for you that I'm going to show you, just so you can get an idea of what a cuadro espiritual is, what is a spiritual frame. Excuse me, but before we do that, I want to show you something that we need to understand. Inside of our flesh, inside of our body, there are veins, there's blood, there's cells. To protect all those from germs, let's visualize germs as lower level spirits or lower level entities. Germs that invade the body and get us sick, get us weak. So our body has 3 layers. Well, there's more layers, but there's generally 3 layers of skin to protect our veins, to protect our muscles, to protect our blood, to protect our cells, okay? So we have 3 layers of skin. Just visualize that. This is just the beginning of, so you can understand what is a cuadro espiritual, what is a spiritual frame. So we have 3 layers of the skin. This protects our body, the inside of our body, our cells, our blood, and all that, from foreign diseases, from the elements. Outside of the 3 layers of body, or what we can see, the 3 layers of flesh, in some traditions they believe in the chakras, which I think I've talked about the chakras in some spiritualities. And people are going to say chakras. Well, in my traditions, we don't believe in chakras. Actually, we call them puntos or vortex in other languages. And yes, in many African traditions, they believe in that. There's a punto en la cabeza, un punto en el ojo. I mean, right above here. There's a whole bunch, but we have one in the throat, one with the heart, and so on and so on. Okay, so I'm going a little bit too ahead of myself. So then after that we have generally 7 layers of aura, el aura. And we have the etheric, we have the emotional, we have the physical, the emotional, the mental, and so on and so on. These protect us from energies outside, influences outside the world, and the stronger you keep your chakras balanced and your aura balanced by 3 things: spiritual, physical. Oh my God, I went a little brain dead. Mental, spiritual, and physical. Keeping those 3 things in balance, we're going to keep our aura balanced. Okay, so this is a cuadro. Aura is like un cuadro espiritual. So I want you to visualize that we have 3 layers of the skin, and outside of the 3 layers of the skin, there are 7 layers of aura, siete auras. And again, there is the emotional, the mental, the physical, the astral, and so on and so on and so on. So this is just so you can get a mental view of what is un cuadro espiritual, what is a spiritual frame as we view it in Espiritismo. Now I'm going to show you a physical thing so that you can see, so maybe it will embed in your brain what is a cuadro espiritual. So remember, each human is a physical, a mental, an emotional, and a spiritual being, whether you are religious or whether you are an atheist, okay? Everyone is the same thing. And I don't want to go too deep into the chakras because this is not what the video is about, or the aura or all that, even though if you practice Espiritismo and you want to understand the deepness of what a cuadro espiritual is, then you should learn what, of course, your 3 layers of your skin are, and then your layers of the aura. So now I'm going to show you a physical representation of a cuadro espiritual. And there's no better way to show you what a physical view is of a cuadro espiritual than of a framed picture. Okay, this is el gran poder de Dios. Okay, and a lot of people call it in tranquil spirits, which I want to tackle in a future video because there's so many misinformation videos out there in tranquil spirits. It's crazy in my mind. So we're going to show you what a cuadro espiritual is. But before we do, we have a lot of people say this is a very religious picture. It's a very esoteric. I'm going to say esoteric. I didn't think it was going to be this big, and I'm trying not to get the glare of the light in the background. But it has a lot of esoteric meaning and a lot of espiritismo meaning. This picture, I don't think it's accepted by the Catholic Church, but it has to do with a lot of Latino, Hispanic folk traditions, and it really has anything. Yes, it does have some things to do with the intranquil spirits, which again, a lot of misinformation out there on YouTube, and I'm going to tackle that in future videos in a proper way. But now I want to break down this cuadro espiritual, but I want to break down first the picture. What are the symbols of the picture? Just so that you can get a mental note, because a lot of the stuff are written in Spanish, and so a lot of people don't know what that means. So I'm just going to break that down real quickly, and this all goes with el cuadro espiritual, so bear with me. Okay, so now I'm going to break down this cuadro, okay? And notice that I used the word cuadro. Okay, cuadro in Spanish means a frame. Okay, so let's break this cuadro down, which has a lot of significance within Espiritismo. And I don't want to cover the microphone like I did before. The first thing that it says is la omnipotencia de Dios, the omnipotency of God. Okay, so that's the first thing that we see. Now on the left hand side, we see o la cruz en este mundo, or the cross you bear in this world. On the other side it says, o el infierno en el otro, or the inferno of the next. Okay, and we go down a little bit from God, la omnipotencia de Dios, el gran poder de Dios, and then we see an eye. Okay, and that says Dios lo ve todo, God sees everything. And we come over here to an ear, and it says Dios lo oye todo, God hears everything. We're going to go all the way over here, and it says Dios lo sabe todo, God knows everything. Okay, now this is going down to the spiritual frame. Now, did you notice this esoteric pyramid? A lot of people are scared of the pyramid, and the eye in the center there. Okay, a lot of people are going to think, oh my God, Illuminati. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people will think that. Then we have a scale here. Okay, this is what a lot of humans do today. We have in our cuadro espiritual, we have a highly elevated spirits, and we have lower level entities. And the lower level entities are seen here as the demons, as diablitos. Now, in a lot of people's perception, they like to glorify lower level entities, place them up above more, because lower level entities give you earthly pleasures, give you earthly riches. Okay, your spirits of your higher Cuadro Espiritual, they could care less of your earthly riches or gains or anything like that. All they care is about the elevation, which you're down here, the elevation of your soul, your spirit, and all your spirits. This is all they care about. But as humans, we place more emphasis on the lower level spirits in our cuadro, okay? But we should place these a little bit heavier, okay? So it's the balance here. We got these lower level spirits, but we want these lower level spirits to elevate. This is important because in Espiritismo, we don't believe in an eternal hell. We do believe in layers of hell, but we believe that every soul, every spirit, sooner or later can elevate. There's no eternal hell for any spirit for eternity. We don't believe that in Espiritismo. So we have this demonio here, this diablito here, and he's kind of elevating. So there is some spiritual symbolism right there. Then we have right there, it says, un momento, a moment in time. And then after un momento, we have el hombre justo, the just man. Okay, then we have el muerto justo. Right here, this is el muerto justo. This right here is the skull and crossbones of Adam, our ancestor. We are all, well, you know, according to this picture, we are all descendants of Adam. We are the children of Adam. This is just, let's view it as Christianity and all that. Okay, you can believe that, you don't have to believe that, but this represents our ancestors. Okay, they face the same trials and tribulations that we face today. So the next side over here, we see la muerte del pecador, and then we see el hombre pecador, the death of the sinner and the man who is the sinner. And over here, the man who is just, el hombre que es justo, y la muerte del pecador, del justo, the death of the just. A lot of people use this image to represent the intranquil spirits, which I'm going to do an educated video on intranquil spirits because there's a lot of bad information out there. And again, right here, we love to elevate our lower level. Well, we don't. It's not that we'd love to. We like to pay attention to a lot of our lower level spirits because they can give us momentary riches and pleasures and gains, the gains of the flesh. Okay. So I just wanted to break that down, and now we're going to go back to El Cuadro Espiritual. Broke that down just a little bit. I'm going to get back my cuadro. Cuadro in Spanish means a frame. Okay, I'm going to show you my cuadro del gran poder de Dios, and I'm trying to get that blur out. Now we're going to break down the Cuadro Espiritual in ways that we can understand in Espiritismo. If you go to a centro espiritista or a templo espiritista, many things are described in ways that the human brain can comprehend it, okay? Remember that the world of spirits is very mysterious, very big, very huge. So we as espiritistas, we try to explain things that the way that the human brain can comprehend it with something that's physical that we can see. A lot of times we say that we're going to elevate our spirits and send them to la escuela espiritual. It's not that they go to sit down, which escuela espiritual means the spiritual school. We send our lower level spirits to the spiritual school. Not that there really is a school that they sit down in a desk, but this is a term that we use to describe something with something we understand, okay? So now we're going to look at the Cuadro Espiritual and how does this work with our spiritual frame. We are the picture inside there. So you ever go to a mall or you ever go somewhere and you buy a poster? What is it? A poster is just a piece of paper, nothing in it. And right there, what do you do if you take that poster and you place it by light, little by little it's going to start losing its color. So visualize your Cuadro Espiritual as this frame right here. Inside this frame, there's the picture of El Gran Poder de Dios, o la omnipotencia de Dios, the omnipotence of God. This represents us, okay? The piece of paper within there represents us. The glass, a frame, to protect a picture the best way you can, you have to have a frame. You have to have a glass. You should have a glass. You have to have the frame, el cuadro, el manto, or el manto, the glass, un marco within the back, okay? And then if you want to hang it up, something to hang it up, okay? So this represents our Cuadro Espiritual. Our Cuadro Espiritual are spirits that protect us they protect us, they guide us, they teach us, they communicate with us on a daily basis. We just need to learn how to communicate with them. A lot of people, they hear their spirit guides a lot of times, but oftentimes they think it's just me. Is it the voice of my higher consciousness? Well, if it's the voice of your higher consciousness, listen to it. If something says to you, don't do it, listen to it. Pay attention, because when you do something that your higher consciousness says not to do, you always get into trouble. So this is the voice of your Cuadro Espiritual. So again, the Cuadro Espiritual is viewed as a frame that protects the picture. You are the delicate picture. Okay, you are that which is visible. You are the visible, and the Cuadro Espiritual is there. It's not visible unless we really look at the Cuadro Espiritual. We don't really see the glass, but we know it's there. Okay, we don't pay attention to the frame or see it at first glance, but we know it's there, and we can see it when we look deeper in the picture, and we say, "Ooh, there's the frame. Now I can see the frame, and I see that the frame is protected by a glass." So this represents our Cuadro Espiritual. Within everyone's Cuadro Espiritual, and we all have a spiritual frame, we have spirits that are as elevated, very elevated entities, and we also have lower level entities. These lower level entities, we have to somehow, being an educated Espiritista, we have to somehow try to elevate them as well. In Espiritismo, we don't believe in an eternal damnation. We do believe in personal hells, like purgatory or limbo. Let's call them like that. La purgatoria, el limbo. And that's where a lot of terrestrial spirits, earthbound spirits reside. They live in a limbo type state, and many of them, it depends on the spirit. Some don't realize that they're dead, some realize that they're dead, and some spirits committed something wrong in life, and so they're in a limbo state, but that doesn't mean that they cannot elevate. So when we have spirits in our Cuadro Espiritual, we have to, in all our power, try to elevate nuestro Cuadro Espiritual, and this we do by desarrollando. Desarrollando means developing spiritually. And a lot of people say desarrollando. What does that mean, desarrollando? Desarrollando, developing spiritually in everything, in every aspect that you undertake in life. Putting 100% of your efforts in everything you do, from your work to your family, to your spiritualities, to just living life in general, to being good to those around you. It is good. One thing I want to talk about, material pleasures, material gains, these are just momentarily. Okay, see these things? These are just momentarily. We'll have them for maybe a few years. We can lose them. We're not going to take them to the next life. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's good to live a comfortable life. We all want to live a comfortable life, but we should live that comfortable life by our works. Do you understand what I'm saying? By our labor. By working hard, we get our pleasures in life, those little simple things that make life a little bit more comfortable. But we shouldn't put that as a focus. That's called materialism. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people, they tend to work more with lower level entities, because these lower level entities can give you these things. Do you see what I'm saying? Your higher level spirits, they could care less about your if you win bingo, if you have a diamond ring, your higher level spirits don't care about that. All they care about is the enlightenment of the spirit within inside you. Remember that we are a spiritual being living a human existence. It's not the other way around. So hopefully this cuadro makes you understand, that picture makes you understand what it is, what is a cuadro espiritual, and what's the importance of a cuadro espiritual. So what happens to a frame of a picture when we don't take care of it? Simple. You have a frame and you have a picture, it's beautiful, but what happens? Little by little, the glass starts getting dirty, it starts getting dingy. Little by little, the wood starts collecting dust. Visualize this dinginess as a gray area, because you're not taking care of your spiritual frame, that your connection with your spirits is dingy, it's gray. Visualize the dust as lower level entities. It's attracting itself to the picture. It's trying to get into the picture to destroy the picture. So what do? Well, we take, I don't know, whatever you got in your house, and you clean your cuadro espiritual. Do you see what I'm saying? You wipe it, you dust it, you want to make sure that that beautiful picture is taken care of. This is what we do in Espiritismo. Generally, we try to clean our cuadro. We want to make sure that the glass is viewable, is cleaned. And how does that glass represent in Espiritismo? With agua. We want to have claridad. We want to have clarity with our spirits. This is what this water represents. This water represents this glass that is protecting this picture. This is the glass is representing this water, okay, and it's connecting it with the cuadro espiritual, or the frame, which is represented of our cuadro espiritual. So what do we do when we're at home? We try to take care of our pictures. We like that picture. We don't want no dust to get into our picture. We don't want the sun, we don't want the elements to ruin our picture. And if we do not take care of the cuadro, if we don't take care of a frame, the picture sooner or later is going to get ruined with inside. And this is what we do in Espiritismo. We try to take care of our cuadro, our physical body, by giving our spirits water, giving our spirits light. Once a week, I try to cleanse the pictures in my wall or in my house. So you should do the same thing, and just showing you physical things, to one thing that could represent another thing. Okay, and I hopefully that's sticking with your brain. And I have one more thing that I want to show you on another way you can interpret a cuadro espiritual, with something that is tangible, that is visual, that we see every day, but we don't equate it to our cuadro espiritual, to our spiritual frame. So I personally don't have a chess game in my house, and I'm surprised. I got almost everything else in this house, but I don't have a chess game. But I wanted to show you something that you can use so that you can understand what is our cuadro espiritual. Now, in many Hispanic countries and in many Hispanic cultures, and in some templos espiritistas, some people call it el cuadro espiritual, which is the spiritual frame, or some people call it la Corte Espiritual, or the spiritual court. And this we can view when we look at a chess game. Our main object when we're playing chess is we want to beat the opponent, okay? Just like checker, we want to beat the opponent, and we want to make sure that we at the end of the game we have our king and our queen and as many members intact as possible. This is our Corte Espiritual. We are all born with a Cuadro Espiritual. We are all born with a Corte Espiritual, spiritual court. Some people will use Cuadro Espiritual, some people will use Corte Espiritual. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to talk to you about the names of the pieces, and I had to write them down because I don't know them by memory. So we have the king, okay? We're all born with spirits. God has given us, in Espiritismo and in Sanse and in Santeria, we believe, and not just in Santeria, in Banda, in Voodoo, Candomblé, Maria Leonza, all forms of Espiritismo or African traditions, we believe that God has given us seven, we call it siete jefes, 7 chiefs. Okay, these 7 chiefs are part of our Corte Espiritual. Okay. Whether you believe in African traditions or you believe maybe in Hindu traditions or pagan tradition, you have your gods, your deities, and all that. So in our Cuadro Espiritual, we have a mother and a father, and we're going to view our mother and our father as, first of all, the father is El Rey, okay, which is the king, and the mother is the queen, la reina de tu corte espiritual. This could be, some people say it's Orishas, some people say it will be Santos, some people will say it could be a pagan deity, some people it's a Hindu god, a diva, a saint, a Virgin Mary, whatever. Each person is different, but we all have what we call un padre y una madre, a king and a queen. And then there's God, and then there's that king and the queen, okay? And those are the biggest ones in our Cuadro Espiritual. Next to that, we have what we call the rocks in English, the pieces, okay? And in Spanish, those rocks are called las torres, the towers. I don't know how they get rock in English, but they're called las torres. The next thing we have is the bishop, okay, within the chess pieces, which is el alfil in Spanish. Then we have the knight, which is our caballeros, and then we have our pawns, which is the front pieces, and those are the peones. Now, the king and the queen in a chess game are the most elevated spirits within your Cuadro Espiritual, and then it goes down by hierarchy until you get your peones, your pawns in the beginning. Those are your lower level spirits that you want to elevate, and by elevating them, and you want to elevate them, but you got to view that their job is just as important as the king and queen, because their job is to protect the king and queen, and in doing so, protecting the king and queen, they're protecting you. So their job is just as important as the higher level spirits, because we need to elevate those. And when we elevate those, we elevate ourselves, and we're elevating our Cuadro Espiritual, our Corte Espiritual. So I just wanted to show you another example of how we can use something that's outside in the world that we see every day to understand what is our Cuadro Espiritual. I'm going to do more videos on various forms of spirits, and I wanted to start with the lower level spirits and work my way up, because there's some good information out there, but then there's a lot of misinformation out there, and so a lot of people are being misinformed. And as an espiritista who's been trained and educated in the world of spirit, it is my job, to help at least educate others. Do you understand what I'm saying? So again, we have a king, we have a queen, we have our torres, which is our torres are what? Our rocks, I guess. We have our pawns, our caballeros. They all have a role within our Cuadro Espiritual, and so our spirits can be from the lowest level spirits to the highest level spirits, and they all are important in protecting la materia, the physical self. And by elevating our spirits, by honoring them, by giving them light, by giving them water and candle, and by sitting there and talking to them and listening to communicate with your spirits, we win at the end our chess game. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of people call their Cuadro Espiritual la Corte Espiritual, which is our spiritual court. And you can see that within a chess game, as you can see that within playing cards. You have your king, your queen, and all that. I know that in the older, not so much so, in the older versions of chess, they had El Rey, which is the king, La Reina, which is queen, the rock, which is La Torre, the archer or bishop, which was El Alfil. They had the knight, which is El Caballero. They had the pawn, which were, or the pawn of the soldiers, which were el peón or los soldados. Okay, our soldados are our spirits that fight for us. They had the courier or the sage, which is el sabio, and then they had the jester, which was el bufón. Okay, el bufón or the jester spirit. Let's talk about that for a second. We all have lower level spirits that make our life impossible sometimes. Not all our spirits are elevated. And if you read the stories of the Buddha, I'm going to say his name wrong, Siddhartha Gautama, there's a part where he was meditating under the Buddha tree, and their version of the devil, which would be his jester, his buffoon, came to try to tempt him. If you read the story of the biblical Jesus, Jesucristo, before, I don't know if it was, after his baptism, he went to the desert, and the jinn, Shaitan Iblis, or some people call him Satan, his lower level spirit tried to tempt him with riches, with fame, with fortune. And so our jesters, they try to do that. Our bufones, our burlones. Burlones is our mocking spirits. We all have mocking spirits within our Cuadro Espiritual. So anyways, I hope you understand. If you have any questions, please ask. I know that my videos are too long. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to cut it short. Hopefully you guys understand. But if you have any questions, leave down below. I will be making more future videos on various levels of spirits. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to cut this short because it's getting too long. Hope you enjoyed. Santo Sanse, this is Sancista Brujo Luis. Mucho amor, mucho respeto a todo el mundo. Los quiero mucho. Ciao. I want to do a PS, something that I thought of that I want to add to the video. A few days ago on my Facebook, I posted this quote, and I want to read this quote for you. Then I'm going to do a real quick explanation for that and just end the video because the video is long as it is. But I wrote, God, whatever name you want to give God, Bon Dieu, Olodumare, Jehovah, whatever name you want to give, Brahma, whatever name you want to give God, God has blessed every one of us with 7 primary chieftain spirits within our spiritual frame, and spirit guides, okay? And spirit guides from every rank that number more than the stars in the universe, or the stars in the cosmos, or the stars in the sky. We all have 7 primary chieftain spirits. We have one that rules the head. Okay, that is, and if you come to my house, you will see who I'm going to say mi santa patronal. In Espiritismo, we call it my santo, my santa, mi ángel de la guarda, my guardian angel, the angel that guides and protects me over my head. I noticed that a lot of people today, there's a trending thing of having the deity of the week, and it's crazy to me. You know, one week you're honoring this deity, one week you're honoring this deity, one week you're honoring this deity. It's fine, you know. In Espiritismo, we believe that every point of nature has an elemental spirit, un espíritu elemental, and it is our job to respect the earth by respecting those spirits, honoring those spirits. But it takes a lifetime. Let me tell you something. It takes a lifetime to get to understand who your Cuadro Espiritual is and your connection with them and why they are there. We do not choose our spirits. Our spirits chose us. We don't choose them in this physical plane. We chose our spirits before we were born, and most of them were assigned to us by God. And especially our guardian angel, whether it's our guardian angel, our Orisha, our Loa, our Santo, our head deity, that is, you got to know who is your queen, who is your king, who is your mother, who is your father. Those are the ones that should be on your altar, the most present, the most important espíritus, seres, protectores, protective guides within your Cuadro Espiritual. And also, just to end the video, I said, and again, I'm going to read that one last time. God has blessed every one of us with 7 primary chieftain spirits within our spiritual frame, and spirit guides. Okay, chieftain spirits are like our Corte Espiritual. Then we have, which are the higher ranking spirits. Then we have spirit guides. Spirit guides from every rank that number more than the stars in the sky. We are created in the image of God, and within us, every single one of us, there is a universe within inside of us of cells and neurons and everything, and each one of those has a life, and we are that universe in God's image. And each one of those cells has a bit of the DNA from all your ancestors from beginning of time that makes you who you are. Understand that within our Cuadro Espiritual, we have spirit guides and ancestors from beginning of time. It is impossible for us to know all their names, and sometimes we don't even name them. I have many spirit guides that I don't even name, but I know that they are there, and I honor them all for what they do within my life and how they teach me and how they guide me. And some spirit guides I do, most of my, like I have un guía principal, my principal guide, un centinela, my guardian guide, which I'm going to go into another video on that. But I just wanted to break that. A lot of people are choosing the deity of the week. I want to work with this deity today, but they don't even understand who they're the spirit that's right here. You know, let me tell you something. I've been honoring this spirit my whole life, this elevated angel, this deity, this Orisha, this Santo, this Loa, whatever you want to call it, my whole life. And every day I learn something new about that. And you're gypping yourself if you don't really make that connection with that spirit and jump around from spirit to spirit. You're always going to be lost. You're really going to be lost. But it is good to understand that we have spirits within our spirit guides that were human, or they could have been human, they could have been animalistic, they could have been from this world, they could have been from another planet. The number from the millions. Anyways, I'm going to close this video because it's pretty long. So anyways, this is Sancista Brujo Luis. I'm going to keep continuing these videos more in the future because it is a complicated topic. Santo Sanse, Sancista Brujo Luis. Much love, much respect para todo mi público, to all my people. Sancista Brujo Luis.